Hello gamers, it is your boy MtG here, back with another Magic video, and this is the fourth and final of my Challenger decks for 2020 deck techs. I am going to be doing another video or two, kind of talking about the decks overall, and getting kind of down to the nitty gritty of should you buy this one, should you buy that one, why and how, etc. So in this one we're going to be doing the Allied Fires, that is the Fire Zone Invention deck for this set, and I do have to say this is the deck I am least impressed by. I really think Wizards kind of missed the mark on this one, but let's talk about it. So, if you're not familiar with the card, Fire Zone Invention is a 4-mana enchantment that says you can cast spells only during your turn, and you can cast no more than 2 spells each turn. So that is a limiting factor, but it's important because the second part of this says you may cast spells with converted mana cost equal or less than or equal to the number of lands you control without paying their mana cost. So, for instance, if I have 4 lands on the field, I play Fire Zone Invention, I can immediately follow that up with with a Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor or a Drawn from Dreams or something like that, without actually paying their mana cost, because we have 4 lands on the field and these cost 4 or less. So that's how the card works. And generally, so this was actually a pretty popular deck a little while ago. I don't really think this is in the competitive meta right now, but it is a very interesting archetype, really fun if you if it's done right. I don't think this is really done right, and so essentially what they've done is make a Planeswalker deck that also runs Fires of Invention. So that's my biggest problem with the deck. So we have 4 Narset Parter Veils, which is a great Planeswalker. She's wonderful. A lot of Fires of Invention decks will run her. We also have 2 Saheeli Sublime Artificer, which isn't bad. 3 Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor, which is, to me, feels pretty weak in this deck. I'm not a huge fan of hers, but fine. And then Sarkhan the Masterless, which I actually kind of appreciate. Like, this is an okay, it's an okay win condition. Like, Sarkhan is great and really good in Planeswalker decks, but I don't think he's the right payoff we want in a Fires of Invention deck. We also have 1 copy of Ugin the Ineffable, however you want to pronounce it. So if you do buy this deck, you are getting a lot of Planeswalkers for your money, right? You're getting an Ugin, 3 Sarkhans, actually 4 Sarkhans because we have 1 in the sideboard. We also have an Ashiok Dreamrender over here, Dovin Hand of Control, and I think that's it in the sideboard. So we have 3 more Planeswalkers over in the sideboard, and then we have Kasmina, Narset, and Saheeli in the main board. They also have 4 Interplanar Beacons here, so you do gain life when you cast Planeswalker spells. But I think, personally, I don't think it's really personal. I think it's just like objectively true that the Cavalier of Fires or Cavalier of Flame version of this deck is just better, right? You play Fires of Invention on turn 4 or 5, and then you're playing Cavalier of Flame, and you get the huge payoff of being able to spend 2 mana and give it creatures you control +1/+0 and haste, so that you can attack with this immediately, assuming you haven't spent any mana. And the biggest thing I think they miss out on in this deck is that we don't have enough ways to actually make use of our lands once we play Fires of Invention. So we do have 1 Kenrith the Returned King, which is another win con, very good card, and sees a lot of play in these Fires decks. I think in most Fires decks you're probably going to be running Kenrith the Returned King. And so he has a lot of ways to make use of your lands, which is really, really nice, right? So he has 5 different abilities, and it's a good win con, but we do only have 1 of him, and that's understandable because he's a mythic rare. He was, I believe, the promo card for the buy box promo for Throne of Eldraine. So it kind of makes sense that they'd only include 1 of him. But I do think they're missing the mark by not having more creatures like Cavalier of Flame, or honestly, I mean, what else could there be? Like Golos? No, Golos doesn't really work with this completely, but there's got to be other stuff, right? Other ways to use our mana, because I just feel like in this build, you play Fires of Invention and you get value out of it, but not enough, right? Not enough to make it really worth playing this when you could just be playing a Planeswalker deck. Like Jeskai Walkers was a thing right before Fires of Invention, and then it's like they took the Jeskai Walkers build and then threw Fires in there, and they're like, it's good, whatever. I will say we also do have 2 Fae of Wishes, so this is another way to use our mana. You can use Fae of Wishes once you've played the creature to pay 2 mana, pay a blue and a colorless, discard 2 cards, return Fae of Wishes to its owner's hand. And since we do have two Fave Wishes in the side or the main board, that's kind of why our sideboard looks the way it does. It's kind of a toolkit sideboard. So if you need specific things, like you need a Time Wipe, you need a Devout Decree, something like that, to get rid of certain things that your opponent has, you can go to your sideboard and get those using Fave Wish's sorcery spell. So this is a good card. I definitely think this is good to be included in here. I wish there was another one, and I really just wish there was a Cavalier of Flame, like at least one Cavalier of Flame to really make this deck go. I just don't think it really goes. Right now our win conditions are play Sarkhan and control the board until you can kind of win, right? I've played a couple practice games with this, and it did not go super well, I must admit, so... I do think this is the only deck that plays a Shockland. I don't think any of the other decks play Shocklands, but we do have one Steam Vents. We have a Temple of Epiphany and a Temple of Triumphs. And so those are our three rare lands. The rest of our tap lands are gain lands, so life gain. So we have 3 Tranquil Cove, 3 Swiftwater Cliffs, and 4 Windscarred Crag, and 4 Interplanar Beacon. So I do think, like... the mana base is usable, but it's not great. So we're gonna jump into some games. We're gonna go do ranked because that's where I've been playing the other ones. I'm in silver right now, which is pretty low. So our competition shouldn't be super strong. We might actually be able to win a game with this. We are in silver. Normally I play to gold, like I'm in gold, but the season just reset. So. Or not, it just reset. It reset a while ago, but I haven't played a ton of ranked this month because I've just been busy with other stuff. And do we want to keep this? Yeah, we can keep this. This is actually a pretty good start. So we get Windscarred Crag. Omen of the Sea. I feel like I didn't talk a ton about this deck in that deck tech. We play Deafening Clarion and Time Wipes as removal, as good board wipes. They're actually pretty solid board wipes for what we're doing. So I don't hate it. It's okay. Let's do Tranquil Cove. And if we need to play Deafening Clarion next turn, we can. Otherwise, we're just going to play Swiftwater Cliffs, not Saltwater Cliffs. But it doesn't look like we're going to need to play Deafening Clarion. Okay, Bone Crusher Giant. So this looks like just Izzet Burn. It may be Jeskai Control as well. But it looks like just Izzet Burn. Okay. Here's the deal. I could go Island and then Deafening Clarion to kill the Bone Crusher Giant, because if we use targeted removal, it's going to deal damage to me. I think that's maybe what we just do. So we'll go Island, Deafening Clarion, just get rid of that before we take a bunch of damage. And then we can get a Fires of Invention and Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor next turn. Ooh, Gadwick. Okay, that is not what I expected. Most Izzet decks are not running Gadwick, so that hurts a little bit. But at least we get to get Fires of Invention in without a counterspell. Yeah, we'll do that, and then we're gonna go ahead and activate her ability. Draw a card, and we'll just discard an island. We don't need that. Okay. Bad news is Gadwick could just attack and kill Kasmina, which isn't that. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Okay, yeah. So they'll probably tap that creature down. Tap my little wizard. Alright, Porterops. Okay, that is unsurprising. So I guess this is it control? Do they run? I guess I'm certain they run counter spells, right? Like, so they probably have an Ionize or something here. Also, so we're playing Omen of the Sea in this deck, which I'm not I think it's okay actually, and the biggest reason it's okay is because we generally will have mana available to use to scry with it. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm gonna play Omen of the Sea. Draw a card, see if it's something good. Oh, we get to scry this, right? Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll play Narset. They may counter Narset, and if they do, so be it. Okay, negate. Fair enough. Yeah, I guess I should have attacked. I guess I should have attacked before I did all this. I've kind of forgot about Gadwick's passive ability there. Okay, so we'll pass, and then I'll scry on my turn, or I'll put a... No, wait, we actually want to scry on their turn. That's what I meant. Okay, attackers. Oh no, 3 damage. Ooh, okay, they're on 6 mana. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Resolve. They probably are just holding up counterspells. We don't need any of those lands right now. We're good. We're good on lands. So just give me the gas, baby. Give me the gas. Pass to my turn. Oh, good, another land. Very nice. So let's go Omen of the Sea. This might get countered. I really hope it doesn't, because I actually need this to go off. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So the Brazen Borrower to put Fires of Invention back in my hand. We have 2, so I'm thinking they're going to want to... we'll take Drawn from Dreams. I think they want to counter this. But I do have another one. If they do counter this, I can play the second one next turn. I mean, obviously that's not ideal. Yeah, not ideal, but it happens. Okay, fair enough. And then we'll go Mountain. And then just pass the turn. So, Quenched. I should have... they couldn't have played Quench on that if I'd had the 2 mana available, so that feels pretty bad. Feels bad. Okay, but they are running out of cards, so they're it's pretty unlikely that they're gonna have a Counterspell for my next Fires of Invention, which is good. So, and then we can go Fires of Invention, then Drawn from Dreams, and kind of set up our hand for hopefully winning the game. You never know. Boy can dream, huh? Okay, so they have 3 mana up. I'm assuming they're just saving that to flash in Brazen Borrower. We've got 2 mana available to pay for Quench if they play Quench. No Counterspell, baby. No Counterspell. They may just be able to bounce it. Okay, so we Drawn from Dreams. Okay, let's do... We want Ujin, and we want Time Wipe. Those are our best plays by far. But we can't play either of them yet, because we already played 2 spells this turn. Okay, so we can take 7... We might take 10 damage this turn, which is really bad. And we really need to not have Time Wipe countered next turn. Okay, resolve that. That's fine by me. I need to put a stop so I can make sure I scry. Pass to attackers. We take 10 here, which is scary. Yeah, it's a little scary. A little frightening. Interesting. We'll go ahead and scry with this. That's not great. That's not great. We need... Honestly, we probably want Time Wipe on top. Wait, we can't double Time Wipe next turn anyway, unless we go... We don't have enough land, so we're gonna go Tranquil Cove. Actually, keep that on top. Okay, that's bad news. Okay, let's think about this. If they have a counterspell, we're just dead, right? Like, if they have a counterspell for either one of these spells, we die. So we gotta go, I mean, so it makes sense to go Fires of Invention first, because if their counterspell is Quench, well, I guess we can pay for it either way. So I think we go Fires first, just because either way, it's like the same counterspells are going to be available. Okay, so we go Time Wipe now. Fingers crossed, no counterspell. Come on, baby. If they have another Brazen Borrower, they're probably going to bounce. Oh, they did have a counterspell that whole time. Okay, that's game. We lose. Yep. Good game, opponent. I mean, we got like fairly close to setting up our board, but like the only real payoff cards we ever saw were Ugin the Ineffable, and Narset, which was good. And both of them we didn't like. They were able to counter us and everything, so that's a bummer. Definitely a bummer. Okay, so let's play again. Then it didn't play too badly in that game, but it obviously wasn't great because we lost. So maybe I'm just hoping for like one win in this video. Even if I lose every game, that's fine because that's probably a pretty accurate representation of the deck. I'm actually going to keep this. It looked kind of bad, but I'm going to keep because Windscarred Crag and 2 islands gets us Narset on turn 3, which should help us get to Fires of Invention if we don't see it earlier. And we start with Kenrith and Ujin, which are both great late game cards, so we'll definitely want those after we play Fires. Hateful Eidolon, okay. So we go Island. Do they enchant this now? Okay, so it looks like they're doing like aggressive enchantments, which is actually like an okay archetype to play against. Yeah, we take Fires. Yeah, fine. Okay, another Hateful Eidolon. Okay, interesting. Let's go ahead and Narset first. Ooh, interesting. I think I would take another Fires as kind of a backup. And then we'll go... Yeah, we'll go Interplanar Beacon so we can go Fires. And then we'll play our second Narset. We're playing Narset aggressively here because we want to keep our hand full of gas. And no gas there, so that's fine. But we do get Kenrith, Kenrith the Returned King next turn, which is great. That's not great. Okay. Not great. Okay, let's Narset. We'll take Drawn from Dreams, actually. Let's go Drawn from Dreams first. We want Time Wipe and another Drawn from Dreams. So we'll go Swiftwater Cliffs. Time Wipe. So he's gonna be able to activate the Nightmare Shepherd on Hateful Eidolon, which is fine because they just get back. They come back as 1/1s, which is not much of a threat, and they only have 3 cards in their hand. So this matchup is going pretty well. Ooh, so this is a different kind of mono black devotion. So we gotta watch out, I guess. We just gotta watch out, you know. Okay, so they're tapping out. Okay, that's indestructible, so we can't destroy that. But what we can do is we can go Ujin. Create a +2. And then we can go Kenrith. Give our creatures Trample and Haste. And then we'll attack for 7. I'm gonna attack with the token. That may not have been the smartest move, but feels okay. We have, yeah. So we can either gain a life or draw a card. Or gain 5 life or draw a card. Okay, that's game. Yeah, sweet. That played actually pretty well. So, I mean, we have a 1 Ujin and a 1 Kenrith in our deck, and we got them both that game on the board at the same time. So that's pretty, like, pretty surprising. That's not a very consistent line of play for us, but, you know, it works. It's fine. That won us the game. Ooh, that's bad. Let's think about this, though. So we can go... We have a turn 2 Omen of the Sea here. And we have removal. And we're on the draw. I'm actually going to keep this. Feels a little bit bad to keep because it's a 2-land hand. But we have now all of the mana colors that we need. So we are grooving and shaking, baby. Is that a term? I really don't think that's a term. So we're actually going to go Temple of Enlightenment here. That makes sense. So we've got 4 lands, and we can play Narset next turn. I'm going to bottom Sarkhan, try to look for fires. Omen of the Sea. So this looks like Azorius enchantments, maybe. Maybe just Azorius control. Okay. Two on top, so they saw something they liked, and now they have both of those in their hand. Interesting. So I'm expecting a counter spell here, but I'm gonna play. Shoot. I'm actually gonna pass, and instead of playing Narset into a counter spell, I'm gonna wait and flash in Omen of the Sea on their turn. Do they sack this now? Okay, they sack it now, which is fine. We'll resolve this. I'm actually going to wait until they have mana up so that they maybe counter Omen of the Sea on their turn. Because they may be thinking, we're a mirror matchup here just because I've only shown blue-white so far. They don't know that I have red mana in the deck, so they probably don't know that I'm playing fires. So we'll go Omen of the Sea. I don't think they would counter this anyway, but they do have mana available if they're running counterspells. Okay. Tranquil Cove is actually okay right here. But I think I'd rather... You know what? We'll take them both. So we'll go Tranquil Cove on top. Because we can play that next turn and then go Narset. I'm a little worried I'm playing this into a counterspell. So maybe I just wait and I'll sack Omen of the Sea instead. Playing Narset. Because the problem is I've got to figure out a way to slot in Fires of Invention without getting it countered. And it feels like Narset gets countered, but Narset is like a big... It's going to be important for us. So I'm going to pass. Try not to get Narset countered here. Okay. I was a little worried they were going to pull out a mountain there and be like, oh, snap, we're playing fires too. But all good. So Castle Ardenvale. Okay, they're just holding up counterspells, I think. Or I'm just psyching myself out and they really don't have anything, but I'm pretty sure they're just holding counterspells. Okay, Fires of Invention, good. Temple of Epiphany, actually, gonna bottom you just because I'm gonna play fires next turn, and okay, so we'll go fingers crossed they don't counter this, but I think they do counter it, and then we're probably in trouble. Yeah, absorb. Okay, so it's just gonna be a battle of the control decks here. Like we got gas, so if they play anything out, we can remove it with Banishing Light. Okay, still holding counterspells. And I'm going to play Kasmina here. She probably gets countered. Oh. But they may not counter her because she's not a huge threat. Like, they're probably holding mana to counter stuff like Sarkhan. Okay, no, 2 absorbs out of the way already, so that's nice. That's pretty good. Thirst for Meaning. Okay, do they discard an enchantment? Yes, they do. Okay, they discarded Banishing Light, which may... It may come back to haunt them, just because if I ever slot anything in, like sneak anything past their counter spells, they're going to want removal. So Teferi. Okay. Shoot. This sucks because we don't have mana to do both. So I want a Narset and then Banishing Light on Teferi, but I can't. I just can't. Okay, let's think about this for a sec. We don't... The only real issue that Teferi is going to give us is the fact that he can just bounce our stuff. So we would like to get rid of him, of course. I think I go Kasmina again. Bait out a counterspell. They do have mana for another Absorb. Okay, they let that happen. All right. I think I need to do this. So I'm going to do this, and I'm probably going to discard Sarkhan unless I draw something that I don't want. Interplanar Beacon. I actually want to keep that. So I'm going to discard Sarkhan. This feels a little bad, but we're doing it anyway. So they may just use Teferi to bounce this wizard, which is probably a smart play. Thirst for Meaning. Man, Drawn from Dreams is a good card. It's good. Can you guys see all their mana? No, you can't see all their mana. Oh, that didn't work. Oopsie. What I wanted to do was, I'm going to try to move my face so... I want you to see my owl, but also want you to be able to see all their mana. So I'm just going to cover up the owl. Screw the pets. Not important. Not important. Okay, they have 5. They have Castle Ventress over here, if you didn't know that already. Suppose your opponent's cast the target creature or planeswalker you control. It costs 2 or more to cast. 2 more to cast. Not 2 or more. Excuse me. I'm yawning because this deck is so boring to play against. Azorius Control is one of the most boring decks to play against. It's just like I'm not a control hater. It's a valid strategy, but some control decks are just not interesting, you know? Like, I feel like Is It Counter Burn is interesting. Ooh wee. Okay, so we're gonna need a Okay, they don't have a counter spell. We're gonna go ahead and do this. I would love to see I'll discard that. So Interplanar Beacon. Oh, this is problematic. I can maybe go... So the thing is, Dream Trawler says, discard a card, Dream Trawler gains hexproof until end of turn, and you tap it. So any targeted removal that I try to use on it, they just give it hexproof by discarding a card, and they've got 6 in their hand, so they keep doing that for forever. But if I create a blocker for it in a dragon token, I might actually be able to make this work. I mean, obviously they could somehow bounce or destroy the dragon token. Yeah, we created a dragon token. So the thing is, if Sarkhan is still on the board, he says whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, each dragon you control deals 1 damage to that creature. So this is essentially like a 4/4 that's going to deal a damage to the Dream Trawler. So it's a sufficient blocker for Dream Trawler. Like they either have to get rid of dragon or buff up Dream Trawler if they want to attack with it. And they can't bounce it with Teferi yet because he was on 2. And we should be able to get crazy, you know? We should be able to get crazy on him. The bad news is that we didn't have a Fires of Invention, which is something we needed there to... we really needed to sneak in a Fires of Invention when they didn't have any mana up for a counterspell. But alas, we could not. Banishing Light. Okay, so the Banishing Light on the Dragon token, I'm assuming? Yeah, Banishing Light Dragon token. Then attack probably Sarkhan with Dream Trawler, and they just kind of go off here. So, yeah, I mean, Azorius Control is good right now. It's a good archetype. And we can't deal with Dream Trawler right now unless we get a Time Wipe. And we can only play Time Wipe if they don't have a counterspell for it. So, not great. Not great. Deafening Clarion doesn't do it. If we do... Nope. We just can't... We can't really deal with Dream Trawler. So, I mean, do we just lose? I'm going to attack... I'm going to attack Teferi. Try to get rid of this Teferi. Make sure he can't be bouncing us stuff. Do we want to Drawn from Dreams here? I feel like Drawn from Dreams gets countered. I'd rather them counter Narset than Drawn from Dreams. So let's see what happens here. I'm guessing this gets a counterspell, probably Dovin's Veto. Yeah, I mean Dream Trawler's pretty spicy. Pretty spicy. Ooh, no counterspell, I see. Well, maybe they have one now, because they still have 2 mana up. They could have a negate or a Dovin's Veto or something here. I'm kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for this matchup. Not that I'm going to win. I mean death by that. By seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, I mean we're probably going to lose. So I may just... Ooh, there's a Time Wipe. Okay, the bad news is I do have to reveal this. Time Wipe revealed. Okay, we'll go Drawn from Dreams now. Hope it doesn't get countered. And then we'll get Fires and another Narset. Try to make it work. All right. We've got 7 mana, which means we cannot go Fires of Invention, then Time Wipe, assuming Fires is going to get countered because they have a ton of cards in their hand. Yeah, we just can't really deal with this at this point. Like, we needed to run them over in the mid-game before they got to Dream Trawler, and we couldn't do that, so... Ooh! Forgot about that. I couldn't draw an extra card. So maybe we're still in it. Maybe we're still in it. Playing another Dream Trawler. Okay. Very, very interesting. So they almost definitely have a counterspell for Time Wipe. They've got 3 mana up, which means they could have Absorb, Sinister Sabotage, Dovin's Veto. But it's the only way I can possibly win is to just jam Time Wipe and hope they don't have a counterspell on those 5 cards. But I don't think they would have played out another Dream Trawler without a counterspell. But there's actually nothing else we can do. I mean, Fires of Invention gets countered, and I don't have more removal other than Time Wipe. I'm gonna go shoot. But if Fires of Invention, if Time Wipe's gonna get countered, Fires of Invention's also gonna get countered. So we might as well go Fires of Invention, and then we can do Banishing Light and force them to at least discard a card. But I mean, yeah, Absorb. There we go. That's game. We're dead. We're dead. Oh, we can go Narset here. Gain some life, and then I'll just concede. Screw it. There's not really much point in playing this game out. They've got 2 Dream Trawlers. We don't have removal. And we're donezo. Yeah, okay. We'll concede. And that's going to be it for this video in terms of gameplay. I don't feel like there's much more to see for this deck. We saw it perform really nicely in one game, which was good. I like that, of course. I like to show you the deck performing well. What is up with my hair? Holy crap. But we also definitely saw some problems. So again, I need to reiterate that this deck without Cavalier of Flame is boo-boo trash, in my opinion. Like, it's just Super Friends. Like, it's just a Planeswalker deck with Fires of Invention kind of thrown in there. It's just, it feels so bad. Also not having, so like, other ways, if we were gonna play it as a Planeswalker deck, we really need Teferi Time Raveler. So if you wanted to buy this deck and upgrade it, I would say you got to go one of 2 ways. Either you go more Kenrith and Cavalier of Flame, etc. So you try to go turn 4, you play Fires of Invention. Turn 5, you just jam your big creatures and kill your opponent. Or you play it Planeswalker style like they're trying to do already, and you run Teferi Time Raveler. Probably still you want to run another Kenrith. And then I also don't think Kasmina is really worth spending 4 mana on most times. So I guess she's just kind of a budget substitute for Teferi, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, I'm not real pleased with this deck. I would say if you were wanting to buy this, I would maybe reconsider. Think about buying one of the other Challenger decks. But of course, if you really like the cards in here, you want to get them, you want to play this deck style, that's fine. Really to each their own, I guess. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this series. If you were interested in seeing the other videos that I did for the other Challenger decks and you haven't seen them already, there should be a card with those videos on them attached to this video, so click on that. And if you want to see more of my content in the future, do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. It has been real, guys. I will see you in the next video. Peace.